And welcome back to the Underdog Jets Podcast with me and a man who put Garfield, New Jersey on the map, Wayne Chrebet. And it's it's a happy day. Every day is happy, but this is 2 days after what you see in the title, the Jets debacle in Dallas, and that was definitely a debacle. We're going to get into it. We'll look at some plays here. We'll look at some coaching, terrible defensive performance, and I kick it over to you, Wayne.
Yeah, when we first got on, I said lots to talk about. More negative than positive, which stinks. We'll try to find a silver lining with it, but it was a debacle out in Dallas. Tough to watch at times. But yet we still had a little hope that it'd be more competitive towards the second half, but ultimately they got outplayed, outmuscled, whatever you want to call it. It was a tough, defeat, but you know what? 1-1 after Buffalo and Dallas, heading into a winnable game against New England. Can you be too upset with that? Maybe be 2-1 after this week. It wouldn't be too bad.
So what we'll do is we'll go into the negatives first and then try to turn it around because I am a Jets fan therapist. I feel like I've been since Sunday. The negatives, I mean, the coaching. I feel like they got outcoached. I think you agree with that. And the defense. Dallas ran, I think, 82 plays to the Jets' 43. They doubled them up in plays. And sometimes it's on the offense, sometimes it's on the defense. And, both are to blame, but I think the defense takes the bulk of the blame on this one because third down, Prescott carved them up. Everything was short, under 5 yards. I saw a stat. It was like 90% of Prescott's attempts were under 5 yards. And you could do that against Buffalo because Josh Allen doesn't take the underneath stuff. He tries to throw it downfield. And I think that's why they have success against Buffalo and quarterbacks that like to go deep. But teams that don't, the Patriots, Mac Jones, Prescott, you got to adjust, and everything was just really relaxed on the outside.
Yeah. Me and Lavergis always talking, top this defense, top that defense. They look bad. He even admitted it, and I was like, yeah, I see it. I mean, I was like, the 12 play drive, 14 play drive, 10 play drive, like 6 drives over 10 plus plays. I mean, yeah, you got to get off the field, and you would say, all right, maybe because the offense were going 3 and out, they were winded. But no, the first drive was 12 plays, 75 yards. And what surprised me was, they won the coin toss and took the ball. I thought maybe they'd want, get their defense on the field, maybe get a turnover from Zach. But no, they took it right down our throats, and we couldn't stop them. And, those short gains turned into big ones because the tackling was pretty bad too. So not characteristic of what it's going to be like the end of the year, but across the board, it was just a bad game, bad loss, bad game to watch. But it only counts as one loss. So on to New England.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, McCarthy takes the ball, and this is the first play right here. It's just, what do? The first 2 plays run right behind their all-world guard in Zach Martin.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was too easy. This one only went for a few, but the next one went for a nice little chunk that got them a first down. Here's Zach Martin here, just taking care of Quentin Jefferson one-on-one. And I mean, it has to kill Saleh, a defensive coach, to know that the opposing coach takes the ball in a league where that's rarely done and then just marches right down the field.
Dude, listen, I mean, it's 2nd and 4, 3rd and 2, I mean, the gains on first down. I mean, every third down was manageable. Like your whole playbook was open.
And that's the thing.
We're sitting 2nd and 14, getting 5, and we're 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11. I mean, that's tough to get when your quarterback is pressured, 45% of the time. Systematically they move down the field, run pass was 50-50. So I'm shocked by the result. At every position on defense.
And that's the thing. People are asking, where's the Jets pass rush in this game? It's non-existent, but they didn't have many chances to get after Prescott because if you run the ball and you dink and dunk and you're in manageable downs, you don't have those 3rd and longs where you could just pin your ears back and rush the ball. And that's the thing that gets lost, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, like I said, the way they played, the way they brought it to us, is what we needed to do to them. And Dak's the kind of quarterback that will give it up. But when you're not taking away the underneath and he's not forced to go deep, those plays that Jordan Whitehead made against Josh Allen, who I didn't realize gave it up as much as he did.
Mm.
Sauce had a great chance for a pick six.
Yep,
I
that's
think
a
he makes
huge,
that.
huge play.
Yeah, I think he makes that. Pretty much 100% of the time. It would have been 14-10. What that means they would have won the game. That doesn't mean that, but that was a big play and a turning point because they went right down and scored after that.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. I mean, were they getting outplayed? Sure, but football's a funny game with momentum, and if he makes that play, you never know.
Yeah,
I mean, look at this third play of the game after they ran the ball. They're starting to tinker with bringing an extra guy in the box. There's Whitehead, and they still can't really do much.
yeah.
Nope, there goes Whitehead. He's bailing. Okay, he comes back. And that's not even Pollard. That's the backup. Yet the line just moves every. See, that's the thing. There's no blatant wins here, but they moved the entire line of scrimmage back
Yeah, they're
5 yards.
doubling. Yeah, they're doubling inside. I mean, it's a huge, huge hole.
Huge movement up front. And that first drive, I knew it was going to be a long day because you could tell right away who's winning the trench battle. It rarely changes. The adjustments have to be made to get extra guys in there or do something different. And I didn't really see much. I mean, it was kind of the same game plan as they put out there against Buffalo, and it can't work that way, really.
There was no adjustments, no halftime adjustments, no anything. I don't know how they expected anything to change because they did the same thing and they just were too far off underneath passes. Like I said, if they would have tackled at that point, but bad tackling.
Oh, terrible tackling.
Now they're saying, Sauce should travel, with CD the whole game or travel with the number one, what did Richard Sherman do? What did Revis do? This and that. I don't know. I mean, some of the best guys never moved with the number one. So I don't know what the feeling on is that, but they're not in man that much. But and then you look on the other side on the offense, it's like, what they did to us, we couldn't even get anything going.
Nothing.
And look at their line, and I look at our offense line. Their grade was like 160 out of 162 linemen, 161 it was, my God, man. I don't care who you're bringing in there to play quarterback. Why would they want to come with this line unless they can kind of turn around? I mean, it's bad. I feel bad for Zach. We'll get into that, but yeah. I mean, there's a difference between a winning team with that offense line and a losing team with our offense line.
Yeah, like here's a perfect example of coaching. It's trips with the tight end. Prescott knows what he's looking at. This is the first pass of the game. It's I think it's 2nd and 3 or 4 here. Sauce is on the tight end side. Why? Because it's zone. Yeah. Because it's zone. And you got the nickelback, you got Reed, you got Carter. No one lining up on the number one weapon here. So Prescott knows it's easy. It's easy candy because Mosley is not going to get out in time. The only way it doesn't work is if Jermaine Johnson drops here, and that rarely happens, especially in a 4-3.
Yeah, why don't they put the safety up more to that side? Sauce doesn't need help on the tight end.
He doesn't need help on the tight end. Exactly. So here's the other thing. They love playing quarters because if it's a balanced look, they have their corners off and they could put safeties too high, but not deep, 7 or 8 yards off. And they factor those safeties into the run game and run support. But if it's not working and the O-line's moving you, what's the point?
Yeah,
so I don't know. I'm really, really confused as to what I saw Sunday.
Dude, when you see a quarterback go like 75%, whatever, Dak was 15 for 15. And one of them was a throwaway, after that. Yeah. Let's get away from the defense.
Zach Wilson, what did you think?
You know what? It's when you kind of look at it and you look at Aaron gone, just with the game plan and the plays you're gonna run for Zach. Not that they have to be that much different from Aaron. He can't make the throws Aaron could make, but it's the same kind of system. It's not like you're going from a running quarterback doing RPOs to drop back passer in Zach. I mean, it's the same kind of offense.
Yeah.
but he can't make the throws. He's indecisive. He didn't hurt them as much. They didn't do much until that, nice play to Garrett Wilson. But the 2 turnovers, the 2 interceptions late were Tim trying to force it. Overall, he wasn't the reason they lost, but he didn't help much towards victory.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Like, my first complaint is it's the same offense as you would have thrown out there with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Hackett. And in today's NFL, what do we see with LaFleur and what do we see with Andy Reid? Jet sweeps, orbit motions, do stuff to get the defense compromised going left and right. And especially if your O-line is weak, do that stuff. Where did we see any motion on Sunday?
I didn't see Hardman used at all.
Hardman's not being used. You've got to mix in that element of jet motion, and Zach could run the ball, mix in some read options. I didn't see many RPOs either. I mean, listen, if there's one thing Zach can do is pull off RPOs, short ones, safer ones. That's fine. And we're just not seeing that. And then the big thing you lose with Aaron Rodgers being out is pass protection, setting things up, seeing things, spotting things at the line. So I think it's just too vanilla. It's too vanilla for their own good.
Yeah, and they don't know where Zach's going to be. They knew Aaron would be in the pocket or stepping up. Zach takes off. They don't even know where they're blocking. And Micah Parsons is the closest thing I've ever seen to Lawrence.
How good is he?
I grew up watching Lawrence Taylor. But even when he didn't get there, Zach's eyes were on that line. He was on it. His eyes couldn't go downfield to look who to throw to because he was watching to see who was coming free.
Yes, this is true. But this is true. But I will give him credit. That has improved drastically compared to years past.
Yeah.
But it was more self-preservation with this. Yeah. I mean, look at this defense. This is the first play of the game. This is so disrespectful. Pressed on the outside, a solo safety, your extra guy right here in the box. This is so disrespectful. And this is what Zach Wilson sees all the time. And they couldn't play offense, honestly, until they hit that Garrett Wilson slant.
Dude, you got to be able to try to run the ball. You got to be able to beat one-on-one coverage. I mean, Jesus, these guys aren't like world beaters on the outside. I know Diggs is good, but like you can't. There's so many plays you could run. Even if you just run and hope for the catch, if not interception, knockdown, or pass interference, just to get these guys back. I mean, look at number 1. I mean, he's. Oh my God, man!
Uzama blows this play up by just missing Lawrence.
Yeah, listen, something's got to be done. I wasn't a fan of Hackett in Denver, and I'm not a fan of him here. You could blame Zach, you could blame coaching, but
you could blame Zach.
In a position to succeed, and they're not doing it. Not even close. So I don't know how they think things are going to get better this year. Not as good as defense, but you got Bill Belichick, running all his schemes and what he's going to do to Zach. They're going to have their hands full again this week.
You could blame Zach and say, he's not the guy, whatever. But this is the wrong week to do it because, everything else was a disaster. Like, here's the first pass play of the game. Solid job. What's the formation? Two backs in the backfield. So Dallas doesn't know if one's going to stay in to protect. 4-man rush, cover 3. It looks like, and Wilson sees these 2 guys go into the flat. So he makes the right read to Lazard and hits him right there on the numbers. If we look at his eyes, this time, where does he go? Down the middle, trying to stare off the free safety. Good job. Back foot. And this is the biggest improvement by Zach Wilson. He's not freaking out with this. In past years, he would have freaked out with his pocket collapsing, and he's stepping up. So that's the good thing. But the bad thing is a lot of other stuff.
No, you know better than me. Was Boyle our backup, but we didn't have a third? The third string would be Randall Cobb?
Correct.
Why do we have a third quarterback in the building?
Not right now.
But listen,
it was Aaron. It was Rodgers and Wilson dressing with Boyle in the practice squad.
Yeah, when you can't block and your quarterback's getting chased and hit like that, I mean,
and he has a history.
You got to have 3 on the roster, 1 on the practice squad. Someone got to come in. I mean, listen, I'm a fan of Joe Douglas. and Coach Sal, but I mean, I have to wonder, like, what do they think? What are they waiting for? If not to just bring someone in to start learning. You can't bring someone after Zach or someone gets hurt and say, all right, we're going to bring them in on 2 days notice and they're going to play. It's not, they need to get in there and learn the system.
If I had to guess, I'd say they're reaching out to some guys they know, like Chad Henne retired, and he has a history with Hackett.
Get him there right now. Call him right now. Get him there tomorrow.
I hope they've been doing that.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. I'm a Jets homer, but like, yeah, and I know it's only 2 games, but I'm just starting to wonder, like, am I missing something? Like I said, if they want to stick with Zach, I understand that. I see improvement and stuff like that, and he had no chance against Dallas. But just I'm nervous about what's our plan B, what's our backup plan,
right?
If that doesn't work out, and it's in the works. But I think they need to implement that like now.
ASAP. Look at this. This is the play right after the one we saw. 3rd and 5. Okay, again, another disrespectful look. I mean, this is just single everywhere, solo safety, everyone else at the line of scrimmage. 2 drop. Forget about it.
I would have caught 100 passes a year if I played against the way they're playing this defense.
Oh my God.
This is like stealing on the inside.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Throws. And how the hell does he loop in like this? Now, again, Wilson, I'm going to say positive things about Wilson here because you got 7 at the line. Where are you going to go? You don't know where the first read is, left or right. He looks to his right, but that's because these 2 guys drop, and you want the lanes to be able to throw the ball. So I understand that. But, I mean, the pass protection guys, it's just...
Throw it now. Just throw it now. Right there.
Yeah. And here's the thing that sucks. At the bottom, the only guy that was open was Garrett Wilson. I think it was a flat slant combo. Let's see.
Jesus Christ. He's outside technique there on the bottom.
Flat slant combo. But, I mean, the only other option was this middle right here. It just that one was absurd. How quickly the pressure got.
He should know I'm going to him as soon as he turns his head around. Catch it, you fall backwards onto first down, and I don't know. It's frustrating.
He should have been onto Carter quicker.
Right? He could throw it underhand. Look at that passing lane.
He should have been onto Carter quicker, but this one is the most egregious example of where he didn't have a chance, I would say.
But again, I not that I'm not a fan of Zach, but I do see improvement. But where we're at now, we're talking about, just being a playoff team without Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
We could be a playoff team. If we can get past this first, half of the season to our, the weaker teams, we got a chance because we've more improved by then. But, we got Eagles, we got Chiefs, we got Patriots.
Yeah, this Pats game is a must win.
Yeah.
Here's the second defensive drive. I forget how this one started. Okay, I mean, pre-snap again, lagged everywhere. Quarters look. Are you going to stop the run with that? Doubtful. But they rely on these 2 safeties, plug in the run support. Fortunately, Dallas passes it. 4-man rush, vanilla. There's no disguise. And it's okay to not be a disguised defense, but when things aren't going your way, you'd like to have something in the back pocket. That's what I would say.
Let me see.
So cover 3, safety. Safety drops down to the flat.
Oh my God, man!
And what do they do here? He just hits you're playing way too far off on first down.
Dude, jam these guys. You got to get these guys off the rhythm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and situation like 1st and 10, run pass situation. You're gonna start too high, fine, but you're too unresponsive. Like the corner
Here's the thing. I studied defense when I played for stuff. I don't know exactly what defense they're running, what the defense coordinator is running. What he's done is work. It didn't work this game, but he's a really good defense coordinator.
I like Over. Yeah.
But I didn't it's the first game I didn't see any kind of adjustments as far as just They not getting pushed around and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge Quinnen fan and Mosley, and I love the secondary, but yeah, if I was them, I'd go in there and just say, listen, let's just get after them. Let's get in their faces. Let's throw them off the rhythm. Let's get in the passing lane. Just something. These guys are good enough to go out there and do that. It was just a bad week.
Yep. 2nd and 5 wide. I mean, if you're going to be this wide on 2nd and 5, forget about stopping the run game unless you're blitzing a linebacker. But look at the DBs. Lagged. Too high. Adams drives up, but it's too late by then.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to drive up. He's an integral part of the run support on this play. And look at how far back he is.
Go up there, go 10 across, whatever could have got him off his rhythm. I'm looking at some of these comments.
D-line does a good job on this play, though. Quinnen saves the play.
Yeah.
They did stop him on this drive, though. 3 and out.
Yeah. So, like I said, we've covered the defense. We've covered the coaching for the most part. We've talked about Zach. My question to you is, I know I'm talking quarterback. Is there anybody out there, veteran-wise or trade bait-wise, that we could bring in to solidify the offensive line?
The offensive line?
Yeah. Because we're worried about quarterback. Like you said, it doesn't matter who comes out of, you can get the best quarterback ever. If he's in there like that, or Aaron was in this game, I don't know how much different it would have been.
No, I think they'd still get spanked.
Yeah.
And so offensive line, I don't really think there's anyone out in the street, but what I would do is I would insert, what they need is a chance that there could be another stud player in there. So I would insert Joe Tippmann right away, the rookie second rounder. He's got talent. Get him in there. So the two ideas are Tippmann in for McGovern at center, or to get Dwayne Brown off the field because he struggled. And listen, Dwayne Brown didn't practice all August. He was hurt. Some people think maybe it was a veteran move, start practicing 2 weeks before the season starts. This was expected, man. Like, they're still in the process of gelling together. They didn't play together in August. The other move is Dwayne Brown off the field, Mackay to left tackle, AVT to right tackle, and then Tippmann in at right guard next to McGovern. So they have options. They just have to put in the young kids. And Ruckert. I want to see Ruckert play a lot more tight end because he's a beast run blocking.
So David Joyner said that La'el Collins.
Is he out there?
I think he's on the street. I mentioned, we had Anthony Beck, a Kyle Brady, guys like that, or kind of like a third tackle to get a piece of a chipper guy like
right. Beck was great,
or whoever we're playing. Who do we have? I mean, Conklin and Zuma, those are pass catching tight ends.
Yeah, pretty much. Rucker is pretty much the only guy I trust there. Uzama historically has been a good run blocking tight end, decent, but he has not been good this season.
Yeah. So what do we need to do to beat New England this week and stop the 14-game losing streak? That is bad, especially for AFC East opponent. We have to win those 2 games, which I think are the 2 most winnable versus Miami and Buffalo, especially at home. I think this is a winnable game, but you never know what Belichick's going to do. He might put 3 guys on Garrett Wilson. So
exactly. I mean, he did that against Tyreek Hill. Tyreek still scored. But that's going to be his game plan. And the game plan is also going to be man everywhere, press, solo high. So if I'm Hackett, I'm injecting a new offense, man. New elements of a new offense. Jet sweep, orbit motion.
Yeah, run the ball.
Run the ball, too. Yeah.
He's only got 4 touches.
Yeah, dude. That's inexcusable, number 1. But number 2, again, you got to run more than 40 plays. I mean, geez Louise. Look at this.
Yeah.
2 more plays, and then we'll get to the comments. 2nd and 1. I actually like Breece Hall just ripped off a 9-yard run. I actually like this call because you're trying to get the quarterback going with confidence. And 2nd and 1, the D is going to be on their toes. So try to catch him with a play action boot. And you do, kind of. I mean, they're kind of disciplined there. So I like it. It's a shot play, but look at this coverage.
Yeah.
How in the world is Diggs
They're
in
not
front
afraid of
of
the
Garrett
run. They're
Wilson?
just not afraid.
Like, what the? How is he in front of Garrett? There's no one's open on 2nd and 1 play action. That is absurd to me. It's like they were in the huddle.
Listen, like you said, I mean, that's Garrett. He's got to just stop there and hope. But actually, that helps Zach to roll him out because he only has to read half the field or a third of the field. Like when he's straight drop back, he can't even go through his progression. But yeah, listen, like I said, we got out coached. McCarthy's calling the plays again this year. Looking at them, and Dallas always falls apart. I think they are serious Super Bowl contender up there with, in the NFC, there's some good teams. I mean, the AFC's loaded.
Yeah, the AFC's
loaded.
But and Wayne, this is the touchdown, by the way. Last play. Why it works? 1st and 10. So look at the linebackers on their toes. They think a run's coming because everyone knows the Jets want to run the ball. If they do this not on 1st down, it's probably not going to work. And then Garrett Wilson with a route. Just a tremendous route.
Second sooner, this doesn't work. And this is what we're talking about. Zach's on time with it. Zach knows where he's going. There's no read. He knows he's going there based on the pre-snap coverage. And that's what he needs to do on some of those 3rd downs. Boom. I mean, just when he makes a decision, like even when he's like, all right, I'm just going to tuck it and run and not like that. And that's when he doesn't second guess himself.
Yeah.
And when he doesn't delay, I mean, listen, people are like, oh, he's scrambled. He's great. Before that, they were in prevent defense. They were letting him do that. But I mean, he's going 10 yards a clip. But when he decides, he can run. When he decides to run or throw it, he's good. But when he gets indecisive, that's when he kind of gets in his own head,
Brian Keith Maloney, Jets had 16 carries for 65 yards. That's a joke. The loss is on the coaching. Yeah, I can't disagree.
Yeah, you got to run the ball. You got to run the ball to set up the play action. You got to run the ball to move these guys. I mean, it's just, plain and simple. We only had 40 plays, but Breece Hall should be touching the ball more than 4 times.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that serves them well is the way Dallas's offense played this week. Short everything under 5 yards. I mean, everything was under 5. Not everything, but 90% of it was under 5 yards in the passing game. That's going to get them ready for Mac Jones and the Pats because they love to do the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I think he can't run. I don't think he's anywhere near a top echelon quarterback. They should be able to rattle this guy. I mean, he's still young. And just based on these schemes we've used in the past, with that defense, and I got to think they're going to be burning and ready to go. They're going to listen to people, like us and everybody else.
Tearing them up.
We're being polite and nice where you got guys, on the, channels and radio stations just hammering them.
Hammering them and not even knowing what they're watching at the same time.
They don't even know what they're talking about. But, and like, what's his name? I don't want to say his name. I don't like him much as the announcer. But it comes out and says, he says Zach couldn't play a dead person in a horror movie.
Oh, Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, stuff like that. They think they're so fancy. Someone made a comment that Tony Romo, what did he say? I don't know if this is a word, unlistenable. Yeah, dude, I can't listen to that guy.
You don't like He's
Romo, a homer to begin with, but just I don't know, man.
You know what? I've always been okay with Romo. Now, you don't hate him, don't love him. I'm surprised. Romo is. So you'll take Aikman over Romo? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just at first it was fun to listen to. At this point, is this such a know-it-all? I mean, and he always the same.
Yeah.
The plays and this and that. When he guesses the play right, not gonna say it's an educated guess because he knows the formations, he knows the audibles. I know too when they're changing from run to pass or left to right. I know that too. But and when he's not right, he's not called out on it. But maybe I was just sore, butt sore from listening to him. Talk about his great Cowboys.
Hey man,
But
I missed it. I missed it because I was at the game.
Whoever made that comment, I agree with you, man.
Yep.
I don't, some people, I don't hate them. I just,
Hey,
like other people better.
different folks, different strokes.
Yeah. Bring back Dennis
Dakota.
Miller. Remember Dennis Miller?
Dennis Miller? Oh my God, yeah. They should have put Arnold as the fourth guy in that booth.
Dennis Miller, he knew, he knew he didn't really know what he was talking about. But
correct.
It was entertaining just his take on things, and he's a fan of mine, which I loved. But yeah, I like, I want to listen, the radio. I want to listen to Marty Lyons and Bob Susan and all those guys. Those are my guys,
And Norm Macdonald said it once, the great late comedian. He's like, someone asked him, he's like, we know you're smart, but why do you act like you're so stupid? And he said, think about it. No one wants to be in the room with someone who thinks they're the smartest person in the room.
Right.
And when I heard that, I was like, wow, he is 100% correct. Dakota beat the effing Patriots. That's short and to the point.
Listen, I don't know what the record was when I was there. Don't count my first 2 years, but I mean, we did pretty well against the AFC East when I was there. I mean, what are they doing? I mean, it's just 14 games, dude. That's tough.
Yeah,
we've had some decent teams. I mean, I don't know. I mean, sometimes somebody just has your number, but Nate, I mean, they got to be able to win versus a home game versus them this week.
Yep. Adam Stevens says use Nick Bowden to pass block and run. I mean, I knew he was going to make the team because Hackett loves fullbacks. Rodgers too. With Kuhn down in Green Bay, the old days. They haven't used him much. You're right. They really haven't used him much. And, maybe they can mix him in more for sure. That could help the run blocking, help the O-line. In terms of pass blocking, that's a tough thing to ask, because if he's in there in a pass, there's no mysteriousness behind it. Like, he's going to run block unless it's an early down play action. But yeah, I agree. And Hardman too. Hardman, Rucker, Tippmann, Bowden. Get those four guys involved.
Yeah. Like I said, that's why you brought him in. That's why you gave him money. Like I said, it's just, there needs to be adjustments, obviously, of the game plan and catering to Zach. But if they don't solve the offensive line, it's really not going to matter.
Yeah.
At all. It's really not going to matter at all. I mean, there's been teams that won with bad offensive lines. Injuries happen. I mean,
but
Joe
rarely.
Burrow got sacked more than anybody in NFL history, and then with the playoffs and stuff like that. But we don't have Joe Burrow. We need all the help we can get.
What'd you think? Last thing before we wrap it up, get your last questions in. We got a couple minutes left. What'd you think of the roughing the passer calls, the myriad of calls on the Jets in that one red zone drive?
Listen, I mean, when you get knocked to the ground, legitimately, what is he going to do? Like, put his arms back? His face mask is going to go right to the guy's ankle or knee or this and that. It actually helps to kind of cradle him. I mean, that's just some of the calls are so stupid. Like, let people play. I know you want to protect the quarterbacks or the faces of the league, but it's impossible. More defensive linemen will get injured because they have to try to stop themselves in forward motion than letting them hit the quarterbacks.
The way I explain it is it's short-term gain by less injuries, but it's long-term suffering, more injuries based on changing the way people play.
Well, we got like a super question here.
We can learn and we'll get better. DFF 1234. Hey, that's a positive comment. DFF 1234. We love it.
Hey, listen, we can learn and we'll get better. It's weird, but man, we're 1-1 and we're talking like, do we got 15 games left? I mean, it's mid-September. I mean, there's time. People come back healthy. We trade. We this. Things improve. I mean, there is positives. We're still. I mean, we won 7 games with a worse team last year on paper.
Yeah. Okay. So and here's the thing too. They started 1-2. Let's not forget. They lost to Cincy in week 3. Started 1-2. The sky was falling, and then they rattled off a bunch of wins in a row. Got to 5-2, 6-3, 7-4, and then the injuries. The injuries happened after 5-2, but it caught up with them. Where are the pre-snap motions, tunnel screens, high-low concepts? Haven't seen creativity. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, listen, like you said, something quick. And we got good run guys that can run with the ball after the catch. It's
Mhm.
like those are just extensions of the run, these quick plays and stuff like that. You miss one tackle, you're to the second line of defense. And you get, Hardman's he's tough to cover, man. I mean, he's tough to tackle. Garrett after Lazard. When I was at the Monday night game on the sideline, that dude is huge.
He's a big guy.
He's a big boy, man. And just even if they just catch the ball and truck ahead, you're sitting at what 2nd and 4 instead of 2nd and 10 every play.
Yeah. The one thing that concerns me is they don't have, outside of Garrett Wilson, they don't have a lot of guys that can create space and route run. Hardman can, but he's not playing.
I don't know. Let's give it to Brees. Dalvin Cook's gotta look better. I expected a lot more from him. I mean,
Yeah.
he hasn't been in camp very long, but he's still young. He's still, he's been Pro Bowl every year.
Yep. J Dubs, thanks for the super chat. I can deal with the loss, but I can't take the inability to not make adjustments and the out coaching. So let's do better on adjustments. I agree. And
Yeah.
I've always, the first year I did not love from the coaching staff. The second year remedied a lot of my worries. But Sunday was rough.
Yeah. Oh, we've been on for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta
There was
go.
no adjustments. There was no adjustments. I don't know why. They're usually pretty good at that. As far as the defensive side, so you know what? They probably looked at the film, over and over, decided to just bury it and burn it. So I don't see this happening 2 weeks in a row, especially with that coaching staff on the defensive side. So yeah, I think they'll come out a different team, definitely on the defensive side of the ball this week.
Agreed. Folks, thanks for watching, listening. Like the video, share it, jetsxfactor.com, rate us at iTunes, and use discount code 80 at jetsxfactor.com to get a 8x10 Wayne Chrebet autographed picture. Got 4 different options with 4 different jerseys. And by the way, how much nicer are those white classic throwback jerseys than the ones we saw Sunday?
It's awesome. Yeah, definitely like and subscribe and all that stuff. Love the questions. I think we'll be back here next Monday or Tuesday night celebrating a victory. I'm pretty confident in that. So until then, thanks for joining us.
Take care, guys.